everyone's dreamed of flying. Everyone's dreamed of being able to move stuff with their mind. Is that why you think it's so cool?
Thank you. Yeah, it's universal. You know, no matter how old you are, how young you are, where you're from, I feel like everybody has at some point or another imagined having superpowers. So it's nice. I get to have plenty of them. I get to teleport, use telekinesis, telepathy, and stop time. I mean, I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to ask for any more, but it's pretty cool.
Right. So these Tomorrow People, they're kind of like the X-Men in the next stage of evolution. So do they all have the same powers? Do they have different powers? How does it work?
You're right. The Tomorrow People are the next step in human evolution. You break out sometime at a young age, but you can really break out whenever. It's just usually it happens at a young age, and some people never break out. So all of them have the three T's: teleportation, telekinesis, and telepathy. And in my special case, I have a fourth power. I can stop time.
Wow. Well, we talked to you down at Comic-Con, and you said this show's a little bit like Heroes. And I think what fans loved about that show, but where it never went and we wanted to see, was everyone kind of get together and use those powers, to fight together. I don't think we ever saw that. Are we going to see that with the Tomorrow People?
You already see people fighting with their powers in the first few episodes. The pilot felt like a large episode and had a ton of information and backstory in it. And when I look at it now as a whole, having read up to episode 5, it's really just the first step in all of these characters' journeys. You get to find out where Kara came from, how she got her powers, and how she found out about them. Same with John. You find out more about Jedediah and why he's doing what he's doing with Ultra, while at the same time furthering the main storyline of my relationship with the Tomorrow People, with Ultra, and balancing my family life.
Well, a superhero team is only as good as their villain, and you guys have the best, Mark Pellegrino, who is so good at being bad. So what are we going to see from him in this series?
The only trouble with Mark is you cheer for him. He's supposed to be the villain, but I find myself rooting for him, and I'm in direct competition with him. Working with Mark is incredible. When I found out he booked it, it was a dream. I was a huge Lost fan, so it's amazing to work with him. And he has this unbelievable. He's so good at persuading. He's so persuasive that I find myself agreeing with what he's saying when we have scenes together. He's so good, and it brings a whole nother level to the villain, because I feel like people will be on his side and people will be cheering for him. When he who knows if he is the villain, but he's definitely projected as he should be the villain, and he does such a good job with it that I feel like people are going to be on his team.
And I feel like from watching some of the clips, there might be a little more to him than we think.
Absolutely. There's the nice thing about our writers. I mean, our writers are unbelievable, but there are so many twists in the first few episodes. At the end of the pilot, people thought it was really surprising, a little bit of a spoiler, when I go with Ultra at the end of the pilot. And looking back, I was surprised when I read it, but looking at it as a whole, it's kind of the only decision I could have made, because this is the person who knows about my dad. If I don't go with him, who knows what he would do to my family? So they have these great twists where if you look at them as a whole, they're the right decision to make, or at least in my opinion, they're the right decision. So those keep coming in the first few episodes. There have been a couple scenes that I've read in scripts that have completely blown me away. Like I was surprised my jaw was on the floor, and if they can do that to me, hopefully they're going to do that to the audience.
Absolutely. Being a CW show, we know there's probably going to be some relationships going back and forth, and I can only imagine how much more interesting that gets when the people in the relationships have superpowers. So what are we going to see?
There's definitely a love triangle between John, Kara, and myself. You definitely find out more about their relationship, and Kara and I's relationship does expand over the first few episodes. But at the same time, there's a fourth person in this love square who would be Astrid, my best friend at school, who there may be more going on there. And, I feel like you can only keep your powers from your best friend for so long. So I'm sure she's going to find out about them at some point, and when she does, that brings a whole nother level into the relationship.
Another thing I think is interesting, and I'm not sure if it's the case with the show, but I think with the novel, is that Tomorrow People can't intentionally kill people.
Yeah. As a fan of the sci-fi genre, that was something I really enjoyed finding out about, because it's something that makes it different from Heroes, from X-Men, from other past pieces of work that, of the same or similar material. And it's, it kind of evens the playing field between humans and the Tomorrow People. We're so far advanced in regards to being able to teleport and use telekinesis, but we cannot take a life. So someone like Jedediah, who has no powers, he pulls out a gun and he can shoot you. So it really makes the fight a much stronger fight.
Somebody in the Amell family must have superpowers, because they managed to make Wednesday night on the CW Amell Family Night. How cool is that?
It's insane. Steven and I, we were at a PR shoot for the CW, and we were doing a commercial, and it was the first time we had both been together for CW, doing a promo for Amell Wednesdays, other than at the upfronts, and we just kind of stood there looking around, and we were like, this is insane. Like, this is completely ridiculous. I can't imagine if it's ever happened before. I've never heard of it happening before, but we're both very grateful and very excited about what the year holds in store.
I've seen some of the things he's posted on Facebook, being proud of you and the cousin love there. Is there a rivalry? You're both superheroes. I mean...
No, only one of us can stop time. So, no, there's no rivalry. I'm so excited for him. His show is the biggest show on the CW, and I'm so proud of him. And I couldn't be happier with the time slot we got. We get to follow the biggest show on the CW, and I just hope that people keep their TV on the same channel and they enjoy the show. Hey, it's Robbie Amell from the Tomorrow People, and you are watching On the Red Carpet.